Hi, Greg.
Oh, hi, Nick. How are you tonight?
Not totally sober. Hey there, beer tubers.
Oh,
Welcome
you're
back to
welcome.
Beer Analysis 101 with your host, Maxwell Starr. And maybe this is a little bit of a gag episode. So what? Tonight we're going to do
This show is a gag episode.
shelf turd
We're gonna gag a
non-alcoholic
lot.
beers. So
Yeah.
there's probably going to be some gag. Well, you know what? It's a very real question. You go to the grocery store, like very common in Canada, to go to a grocery store into the beverage section if you want to find non-alcoholic beer. The liquor stores don't carry it because they don't have enough liquor to be sold. Well, I mean, it's not like the non-alcoholic beers don't exist in some of our liquor stores. They do. They have like the Bud Prohibition and the Heineken non-alcoholic in the liquor store. But what I'm talking about is you go to the beverage section, like with the pop and the juice and all that, at a Canadian grocery store. You might find a selection of non-alcoholic beers. You don't know how long they've been there. So especially when you get like a black bottles of like Beck's or Labatt Blue or something like especially ones like are in the green bottles sitting under fluorescent lights in the grocery store for way too long. They usually have best before dates on them, but they don't really always recognize that. So, what happens if a non-alcoholic beer has been sitting on the grocery store too long? Or likewise, if you do Drive February in February and you've got a pile of non-alcoholic beers left from last year, like I do, and Greg does probably, then you might be wondering, is that stuff any good? Well, we're about to answer that question for everybody and find
And
out.
more.
So let's introduce who we have. Yeah, who we have with us tonight, and that starts, of course, with Gorg. Hey, Greg. Rip Greg. I'm gonna
Hello,
rip
Nick.
Greg.
He dies
I'm
tonight.
I'm bringing beer that might kill me tonight because it was pretty bad fresh when I had. Are we introducing beers? I forget how the show works. I've never been on it before.
Yeah, we might as well introduce beer, and obviously, it's not the Mosaic Four Ways.
No, no, it's not. That's my chaser actually for this beer. So, well, I guess I'll go into history of what I thought about this beer. But what I'm bringing is a company called from Sober Carpenter,
Oh
and
Jesus!
it is their white non-alcoholic beer. And
Interesting.
I've had it since last February. I bought two of them. I drank one and did not drink this one. That should tell you something.
I should tell you, there's a reason
I
why you
was
didn't drink that one.
Well, yeah, I had planned to send it to one of my enemies like Nick, but instead I kept it. I just dropped it. Now it's all shaken up. We'll see how this
Nice.
goes.
You gotta open it right in your face. So here's a fun question. If you look at the bottom of the can, does it say anything about a best before date?
No, it doesn't actually. Now this I don't believe this company is available in grocery stores, so it's mail order. So I'd assume their stuff is gonna be fairly fresh. I'd hope anyway.
I think I've
All it says.
seen Sober Carpenter and Sobeys here.
Oh, have you? Okay,
Yeah.
then my mistake. So I don't think this means anything. It says lot 21337, and it looks like 5:57, which appears to be the time, and it says EQ. So I'm sure that means something to someone, but I don't know what it means. So
probably like
It
a
means
year
nothing
after
to
it's
us.
yeah, like breweries, real or fake breweries, whatever you are. I don't care. And actually, you know what? Coca-Cola too. I don't care what the fuck you make. You put in a bottle, put the fucking canning date on. Put it right there. Say
gotta have a bottle on date, guys.
yeah, bottle on date, guys. I'm shaking this more. This is gonna probably explode right in my face.
But I'm pretty sure I get Sober Carpenter here, but yeah, like
So
usually anyway. So
I'm
it's funny we start
extremely
talking about what we're
curious.
gonna do.
I'm just
It's funny
very
we
curious
start
what's
talking.
gonna be in here.
It's funny we started talking about non-alcoholic beers, and then all of a sudden I saw the viewer count go from 2 to 0.
Yeah.
Well,
People
all
pay to
right then.
watch us get drunk.
Right. Well, that's pretty much it. The fun part of watching BA101 is watching people get drunk, which we will go back to next week. We'll discuss that later. As long as somebody asks the magic question. And first of all, speaking of magic people, let's talk to Lady Lee.
Magic.
Yeah, how you doing tonight?
I am good. I am good. I am also afraid of my beer. It is same one I had last year.
Ooh.
So the Pale Ale Rival House. It was best before May 22nd. No, I said that wrong. No, never mind. 2022, November 12th, I believe. Anyways,
Nice.
2022 or May. I think it's May 2022. So it says MA 2022 or 22. Sorry, N012. So, anyways, I think it's 2022 for sure.
Yeah, if it has a 22 in there, it's probably.
Yeah. Anyway, so best before is, I assume, May. I wish they had these easier to read. Like, they confuse me. But yes. Anyways, it's expired. It's past its due date. I got them last year, and now we're here. So, yes.
That rhymed.
That's as exciting. Yeah, that's as exciting as it gets. We'll see how it goes. I just poured mine. It doesn't look
Nice.
like anything's bad. Doesn't.
That actually doesn't look bad. Yeah, we'll circle back to that. And first, I'm going to put me up on screen because not because I'm talking about my beer, but because I actually have somebody who couldn't be with us tonight because he's tired. He had to go to sleep because he's got to get his beauty rest because working day shifts are hard. Hi, Redbeard. Make sure the volume's turned up.
You know, the thing is, he's probably awake.
People of the analysis.
Probably is.
Thanks for calling me. Hope you're doing
Hey,
well.
Redbeard.
Yeah, I have a beer that was canned on the 22nd of September, 2021.
Gross.
Beer, being a interesting
Subjective term.
descriptor for what this is. Découverte? I don't know. It's French. It's a Le Bocal. It's a 0.5% IPA. And it's old.
Yeah, I think I remember him having that last year. He briefly tried to do the non-alcoholic beers with us in February, but he was pretty much the first. Remember that episode of Seinfeld where they had to try to? Yeah, he's like, I'm out. Yeah, he was jumping into IPAs within a week. Anyway, so yeah,
I don't think he lasted a week. I think he was like a day or two.
It was kind of funny. He's like, I'm going to do 2 weeks sober. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to do 2 weeks sober with you, Nick. And then all of a sudden I noticed next week and he's drinking beers again. And I'm like,
It was pretty awesome, though.
Wondering why I'm not drinking anything. Because I'm the one that actually created a profile on Dry February instead. Speaking of which, before I get started on it, I might as well talk about my Dry February. Because, hey, I actually hit a milestone tonight, which is... There we go. I hit my fundraising goal. On Dry February. So, woo, yeah, it might have been me, but they got this thing on right now. Like, if you donate or anybody donates, I see my dad donated, a couple other people, that they'll match your donation.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah. All right. You know what? Before I talk about my beers, let's talk about Scott here.
Hey, Scott's there.
Yay, hold on. Lady Lee wanted to say something. What are you saying?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I finally figured out how to read it. It is best before, meilleur avant, 2022, November 12th.
Nice.
That is it. That is what the can is. So it's only a few months expired.
Fun.
So it should still be acceptable.
All right. Scott. Hi, Scott. The Fuzz. How you doing tonight?
I'm okay. I'm good. I heard through the grapevine that you guys were analyzing near beers that are been in your fridge way too long.
Yes.
Fair to see what you've got.
I'm not sure if Max picked this up before, but recently this company has locked in their prices for until at least January 2023. I have Compliments non-alcoholic beer.
Oh, nice.
Right.
The fuck is that? Where? What?
Wait, isn't that the same? Isn't that the same as the Lee beer, Compliments Blonde? I wonder if that's a new container for when did you buy that?
older one? Like, how long has that been in your fridge, there, Scott?
The bottom says best before March 2017.
Oh, so that's the old one. So
Oh
I think
my
that's what
God.
currently is Compliments Blonde.
Yeah.
I think he beats us for aged beer.
So,
This should be fun.
But you know what? Compliments Blonde is a pretty good beer. We'll see if it ages well. But
so Scott, tell me, what's the percentage of that thing? Does it actually say like
Yes.
how many calories and it's like 0.05 or something?
Less than 0.05.
nice.
Okay. How many
And
calories?
calories 35.
Oh, jeez, I think it is the same beer.
I'm pretty sure it's the same beer. Yeah.
All right. Well,
I have a backup beer.
no.
Oh, that's a good
That
one.
one's really awesome.
That one's a
We'll
good
keep
one.
it at that matches the spirit
I
of
mean,
the
unless
show.
your backup beer expired in 2015, and then
I think my backup beer is still good.
yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah,
No,
no,
we want
go
the
with this one.
expired
That's the-
ones.
I guess I was gonna do this one tonight, but since Scott's doing it, the older version, that's no fun. So
Yeah,
Trying to
you've
find a
got
new
the
one.
old can.
I'm gonna go drink a 1-year-old can of Libra's Pilsner.
Ooh.
All right.
Oh. I would have picked that one over the Compliments beer.
Yeah. Well,
Probably tastes better.
Well,
I don't
I
know,
mean,
but
I don't know
the
about
thing
age.
is,
No, go
go
ahead.
ahead,
Nick.
Greg. I'll put Greg up. Go ahead,
Okay.
talk.
Jesus, we're so polite when Carrie's not around.
I know.
No, I was gonna say that I don't know about what the age one you're about to drink is gonna be like, but Compliments Blonde's actually pretty fantastic. It's probably my favorite non-alcoholic beer. I think it's better than whatever that Nick one is gonna have because I had that one last year too, and Compliments Blonde is better, plus it's cheaper.
I'll come back up here. Well, I was gonna do this one, but I mean, Scott, I love having you here. So let's let you do that and avoid me having the same beer. I'm probably gonna drink this anyway. But yeah, I sat on this one here. It's like the last can of this left. I wasn't as thrilled with this beer anyway, with as much as everybody else was. But I recall everybody talking about like it's still a fairly decent beer, despite the fact it's non-alcoholic and it's a store brand. So it's actually like hits well above its weight when you
And it's
consider.
$8 a 12-pack.
There you go.
Like it's
All right.
actually priced reasonably.
All right, we have no viewers and we have no comments, so there's no reason to sit there and read comments. Yeah, so let's circle back around and then nope, Greg. Hi, Greg. Circle back and circle it. And,
All right,
right, Greg.
Let's see if this explodes on me. Nope, it's totally fine.
so
That was
while
very
you're doing that,
unexpected.
tell us exactly like what's
Oh,
your
it doesn't
history?
smell
You
exciting,
had this
though.
last year.
So I had this once fresh last year, and hold on. Okay, so this hasn't exploded, so it looks fine. I mean, visually, there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, this is bringing back memories. So, okay, this is my Untapped review. Okay, from last year. The White Ale. I've liked other beers from this brewery, but this is undrinkable trash. This might be the worst liquid I've ever put into my mouth. Absolute drain pour, 0.25 out of 5. I couldn't put 0 because if put 0, it just counts as not rating it. So I gave it the lowest rating possible.
Wow.
Yes, it was.
Oh, this is gonna be even better.
Oh, it's
See if the
good.
ages improved it. See if the ages improved it any.
It's funny that you like to click the worst one too, and you.
I mean,
Makes
there's
my
no like.
favorite.
I was kind of hoping there'd be like globules or something in it, but no. It looks totally fine.
Yeah, mine looks fine too. Mind you, it hasn't been expired that long, so.
Mine still has a little bit of head in it. It's not flat at all.
No, that's good. Mine's got
Mine
a little
had
bit of
head.
head.
Mine dissipated.
It's dissipating. Lots of carbonation still. I
Yeah, mine
think
just dissipated.
like what's
I'm
mine
scared.
saver best before? Oh, you see, that's not terrible. Like it was best before in November of last year. So
Oh, you're like mine. We're
Yeah.
on the same.
Oh,
Page.
but that's before 2017.
Oh
All
yeah,
right,
you beat
so-
us all. You beat us all.
so Greg, your history with this beer, I think you started
That's
talking
my
about.
history. I've had it once before. I'll have it now, and I probably won't ever have it again.
It's just to get it out of the fridge.
Lily?
All right, so my history is that I bought it last year for last year's NA beer, and I don't drink beer very often, so I don't have like an interest in drinking beer, I guess. So
Hi, Lou
I
Dog.
thought you couldn't get me. Sorry. So this just stayed in my fridge, and I tried to bring it to like other places to give it away to people, but nobody wanted it. And I was like, I guess I'm just gonna leave it here until someone or something drinks it. So when we had the idea of the aged beer, I was very happy. I definitely was one of them who suggested it because I was like, I can finally get this beer out of my fridge. So
Well, and you and Greg were saying we both had stuff, and I'm like, yeah, fuck it, let's do that. It's just easy. Get a non-alcoholic beer out of the way for Dry February this month, and at least I'm raising the money for a good cause, so it's.
technically, I have
yeah,
two
like,
cans left though.
I didn't feel like organizing something where.
No, thank you.
I didn't feel like organizing something this month where we had to go out and find the same alcoholic beer because we're struggling just to find people to come on the show.
We're struggling to find people to watch the show.
Yeah, we've only got one viewer, and it's probably one of us. So, hey,
One of us.
hi, thanks
One
for
of
watching, and let us know what you're.
Google.
All right, so thank you, Lady Lee. Let's move on to the Fuzz Boy here. The world's best farter.
Yes, the world's best farter. I mean, father.
You tricked us, good sir.
So, do I remember buying this beer? No. This was bought more than 7 years ago.
Gross.
Right? My child wasn't even born at this time. I wasn't even the world's
You're
best
drinking a beer
farter.
that's older than
Oh
your
my
kid.
god, 2017 was that long ago. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
That was the best
6 years
before
ago.
date. It was purchased before that.
Oh my god.
So where the heck did it even come from? Was it left over at one of your parties or something?
Where did it come from? I'm guessing Sobeys.
Obviously, or Foodland.
Was there a Foodland
Here's
around here?
a thought, Scott. Here's a thought, Scott. You probably had that beer at Beaverbrook.
I did.
Well, that's like 2 houses ago.
That was 2 houses ago. Have I had Compliments brand before? Yes. Have I had it since? Yes. I just haven't had this can. Lots of head, lots of fizz. Apparently, Greg says one of the best non-alcoholic beers. We're gonna
be the
review
judge of
it.
that. Lager Boy's going to be the judge of that.
I was gonna ask Scott. At any point, have you had it like fresh, or is this their first time?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Nice. I'm in the
Yeah.
Thanks, Greg.
Like I would even recently, I think I've had it fresh. I went and bought like a 12-pack and brought it to a party and put it into like a koozie, and I was drinking it, and people would smell it and they're, oh yeah, this beer, what kind of beer do you have? Oh, it's just a no-name blonde or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, they all go whack. And then at the end of the party, they're like, Scott, how are you getting home? I'm like, I'm driving. They're like, you've had like 6 or 7 beers. I'm like, yeah, all non-alcoholic. And they're like, what? Oh, you screwed me over.
You screwed me, Scott.
We thought you were having a good time. I'm like, I was having a good time. You can have a good time without beer.
That's one
Greg.
of those guys.
And now we know why Scott's not invited back to parties. He's that guy.
I was drinking the beers. What do you want? I was partying with everybody else. You just didn't know it was a non-alcohol.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, then the next day when you're charged with pulling your junk out in front of people, you can't blame the beer.
Because I was totally sober when I pulled.
Well.
Right. Okay. Let's move on from that there. Thank you, Scott. So let's share a screen again. I really don't like the new interface for this, but here we go with another instance of Sleepy Beard. So
We're like a newscast now.
My history with this beer is that I had a can of it last year and wasn't a fan.
He looks happy.
so very, very enthralling. Hey, we got 3 viewers now.
Yay!
One was possibly not us. So, hey there, person. Thanks for watching,
Person.
and let us know what you're drinking in the chat. So hopefully something more interesting than what we have.
Tell us who
all right.
this panel member is, but you can't say Lady Lee. It has to be one of us three guys.
Right.
That's fair.
All right. So my can, and I think I already told you what the best before date was on this one here. So 11, 26, 22. It's really only like 3-4 months at a date. So it's totally possible this could be still sold on a shelf there. At the what do you call it? Sobeys or something. Lee's probably got one of these in his fridge or something, because Sobeys, who knows if it's the same age. Anyway, my history with this one here is that last year, when I did Dry February, was like some of my, like I decided to branch out and try a whole bunch of different of like craft non-alcoholic beers. And of course, I had a bunch of them left over from last year, but I tried a whole bunch from like Athletic Brewing, from Rival House, from I tried the Compliments Blonde. I'm pretty sure there were a couple others, and of course, the brewery that I kind of tended to lean towards drinking the most of them all was the Libra stuff. It's actually brewed by a brewery at a PEI, so not far away from here, called Up Street Brewing. But these are, as far as I know, in like Sobeys stores all over Canada. Sobeys or Foodlands, or on the GAs. So in this case here, this is totally one you could probably find on the shelf that's been aged way too long. But I remember when I had this for the first time, it wasn't bad. Like as far as the Libra beers go, the only ones I've had are the hazy IPA, the pale ale, and the cherry sour. And of all of those, this was one of the best ones. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on my history on this thing. So
were they brewed in October?
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing where it's best before date is 11/22/26. That it, sorry, 11/26. Well, it says 26/11/22. So I'm guessing it was probably brewed in like 2021, November 2021 or something. So
or October 2021.
Yeah, whatever.
What?
October 2021.
Do you guys not know what your astrological signs are?
Well, I know what
I'm
mine
Taurus.
is, but I didn't see where it's relevant.
Do I know my sign?
What do you-
Yes. Do I care? No.
What's your sign, Scott?
The sign of the beer is Libra.
Oh, okay.
The sign of the Virgin is Virgo.
I thought something fishy was going on because
No.
You're Pisces.
it's obviously not Pisces. Anyway, so yeah, let's continue on instead of
I'm
getting
a Taurus. I'm
personal.
always horny.
You're always a bullshit.
Because you have horns.
Anyway, so let's go with the comments here. It says, you smell of bum, carry the most, I drink your tears. Well, that's actually a pretty good depiction of what this tastes like, but we'll get into that later. I try, you smell of hot bum. Well,
Like after Taco Bell?
What's next week's beer? Says Beers for Days. We'll get to that in a moment. We're stinky. We're back on the subject of hot bum. Hopefully, it's
Me and Lady Lee think on the same lines. Hot
do.
bum.
apologies.
Hot
I
bum.
did not have any aged NA beers.
Shame on you.
So,
I mean, Lee, no offense, but you probably have a whole stash of like the Compliments Blonde that's like sitting in a warehouse. You could probably just grab one.
I could have stole like a Beck's non-alcoholic beer out of the light, one of the most light struck bottles on the shelf or something. It's so.
One that fell behind your shelf somewhere.
Anyway,
Hiding.
Back of the shelf beers.
Yeah.
all right. So let's now that we got the comments out of the way, we might as well just keep circling back around because it's probably be a short episode tonight. But, hi, Lee. Greg.
All right.
Hi, Greg. What do you think?
I haven't drank my beer
How
yet.
bad is it?
I've just been smelling it.
You're just sitting
All
there
right.
smelling your beer.
Let's do
Just
this
smelling
review.
it,
Let's do
smiling.
this review live on the air. I do have a chaser too.
God, Greg.
That was a hard gulp.
He's in pain.
Oh, he has to.
Oh, that was actually pain. I actually gulped too hard there. Ow, that hurt. Ow. So I'm gonna say First of all, it's not good. It smells like it has a nasty perfume smell to it. And actually the taste kind of follows. Like I can't even describe the taste. It's just very fake, very perfumey. Like I don't know. I will say I don't think it's as bad as it was fresh. I think it's actually lost a lot of its flavor. Thank God. So now it just kind of has that nasty perfume taste, but at least it kind of goes down smooth.
Sounds gross.
But it's not good. No, it's not. Don't be tricked into thinking it's not good. It just may not be quite as horrible as it was last year, from what I remember. And I am gonna finish it because, unlike Carrie, if something doesn't taste good, you fucking finish it. You don't fucking go, I'm drain pouring it. No, I'm gonna drink this on camera, and you guys are gonna watch me cry.
Greg.
Oh, cry, bitch, cry.
Greg, I'm
Greg.
crying for you.
You can do better than that.
My tears are streaming down my
That
face.
perfumey son of a bitch.
You
Don't
come
you
too
drink-
quickly.
Wait. Were you watching me last night?
Pretend
I've tried to do the unsalt porn thing, but I
pretend this is at a sex club and you can't, and she
Trying to make you
can't
cry.
stop peeing.
Yeah. Are we just watching Greg down some ratty
Yes.
ass beer?
He's got this.
Yeah, no.
You got this.
Scott's a
Think of
better
it. Once you're
chugger.
done, you can taste your delicious other beer that has alcohol in it. You're almost there. Do it.
Come on, Greg.
it.
You can
Do
do
it.
it. You got
Do
this.
it.
Yeah.
Yay! Congratulations, Greg. You tortured yourself.
A real beer chaser. So what
I
did
think
you
I
want
need
to
some
give that?
vodka to chase that one.
What did
Hi,
you
honey.
need? What did you give for style and overall, Greg?
Oh, it's
What are you
not
selling?
good.
Is an aged beer?
It's
Like
not
1 and
good.
1?
Yeah, well, we'll just say an NA beer. You know, unless you want to do the very specific category of aged NA beer. Style of just the style of NA beer. Like this is the reason people look at NA beers and fucking think they're horrible. 0 for style. Personal enjoyment. I gave it 0.25, which would be a half out of 10 last year. I got to say it is better than that. Not a lot better. I will give this a
0.5?
no. I'm going to give it a solid 2 out of 10. It is vastly improved over the fresh can. Still very bad, but I could drink this. What you just saw me do, I couldn't do with the one last year. I don't even remember if I finished the one last year. And I do very much take pride in rarely drain pouring
It tastes
stuff.
like piss, but it's a solid number 2.
No, I may have actually drain poured the one last year. I don't actually remember, but I couldn't have drank it like I drank this one. So I give it points. So this is actually 4 times as good. Is the math right? 4 times as good as last year's one was, but it's still really bad. It's in the gross. It's in the gross realm. To me, 1 to 3 is the gross realm of beer that I don't want to drink because it's gross. So 2 is like almost out of the gross realm, but not quite.
It's the same. That's the same thought pattern as, you know, oh, it's 50% off. Yeah, but they marked it up 200% before they marked it off 50.
Basically,
This
yeah.
is exactly what happened when Zeller's closed around here.
Oh,
They
Zellers.
raised all the prices and then marked them. Anyway, whatever. Okay, Greg, thank you for that. Let's move over to Lee. Hopefully your experience isn't as terrible as Greg's did, but we'll
My
see.
only thing that I did to myself, like shot myself in the foot for this, is last week I had a pale ale. It was a citrus one, but it was still a pale ale. And last week's was really good. So I'm kind of kicking myself now for picking like the exact same beer. I just kind of realized it because this one's not nearly as good as the one I had last week. And then you age it, and I find I'm gonna agree with Greg. His like lost a bit of flavor. Mine definitely lost flavor as well. So mine, we said November 2022, so it's only a few months where it's past the best before date, and there's like slight hints of like that citrusy taste in the background. Like there's really nothing. It's there, but it's not really there. It's not bad considering that it's been in my fridge for so long. So it didn't age terribly. It just I just find the flavors have been muted. That's it. Like it's really not bad. Style, like this specific one, it's got the taste, but obviously, like I said, it's a bit muted. So I think I'm just gonna go. I think I'm gonna go 6 for style and 6 for personal preference. Yeah, because it's not really bad. It's considering that it has lost flavor. The flavor is still there, and yeah, it is older. Like I bought it forever ago, so yeah, that is my thing that I am saying tonight about this beer.
She's saying it.
She said. Really?
That's what she said.
That's what she said. All right. Thank you, Lady Lee. Let's move over to Mr. Scott.
So-
How'd that beer turn out? This should be interesting.
So, unlike Greg and Lady Lee, my beer gained flavor,
Oh, I'm kind
What?
of scared.
but not the flavor you think it gained.
In 20 minutes.
The flavor it gained was the tin can itself.
Oh, no!
Ew.
I drank this is a tin can flavored beer. There's still hints of the original beer in there, and as Greg alluded to before, one of the better NA beers.
Hell yeah.
But for the 7 years it's been alive, the can seeped into the beer. So very tinny, very old. But the flavor profile is still there. Still had lots of head. Still very drinkable. But back when we were like 20, and people didn't buy cans, people buy bottles because the cans had a coating in it that would seep into the beer. This is what it tasted like. It brings me back to my early 20s, almost 20 years ago.
Gross.
So for style, I'm going to rate it. The style one, I'm going to rate it as if it was the original beer, like not with the tin flavor into it. The style, I'm going to give it an 8, right? An 8 out of 10. Personal preference, it's going down to 4.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's very tinny. Like I feel like I'm licking a metal pole. Hey,
Wow.
peanut gallery, quiet.
Would be the first time you've licked bowl, is it?
Wow.
Oh,
Nick, you weren't supposed to talk about your high school days.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All right.
We're supposed to talk about your high school days. I have stories, Nick.
About licking metal
So
poles?
let's share the screen here.
Oh, I want to hear stories. How much, Scott?
Whoops.
No. I'm good for now. As long as Nick takes out the pole jokes.
Yeah, stop making fun of Polacks, Nick.
Sorry, I won't pull it.
Let's
Pull
hear
the pull
let's
out.
hear what
I won't pull the
Redbeard
pull
has to say
out
about
any on you anymore, Scott. So let's go to.
Let's see what Redbeard has to say about pole.
This is fucking terrible. It smells like rotting vegetables. Like straight up rotten vegetables. Cabbage or something.
Ugh.
And the taste? It tastes like pea smells.
Ew.
What? Gross.
It tastes like this.
My pea usually doesn't have a strong odor to it unless they use asparagus.
Vibes across the board. Fuck that beer.
Wow. Jesus. That would be more entertaining if you actually showed up live, but hey. Alrighty. So I guess it's up to me now.
It's up to you, Nick, to
Save this episode and
save
talk about my
non-alcoholic
experience
Christmas.
with this. How is Libra's how is Libra's Pilsner, non-alcoholic Pilsner held up? not great. I mean, it doesn't taste like metal can like Scott's does. But one thing I do get is a much more pronounced note of cardboard. Like it's papery cardboard all the way through. And I do get a little bit of that that nice like herbal black tea kind of note that I got out of this when I drank it last year. But now it's got that little bit of cardboardiness. And maybe I'm drinking this a little too warm. I should have had it in the fridge if I was going to do it because I didn't really plan it. But I feel like the cardboard note has come up more, and there's not enough flavor that was naturally occurring in the beer to cover up for that. And it's just like I'm drinking fucking asbestos or something. It's just
All your beers sound awful.
it's it's honestly not that bad. And when you drink it quick, there's actually this nice like fruity kind of tartness to it. So overall, I don't hate it, but I don't love it as much as I did last year. So for style, I'm going to give it a 6.5. It's okay, but 5.5 for overall enjoyment. It's just bear pass. Like if you had to drink a beer that was over a year old or too old, the Lieber stuff generally holds up, but this doesn't hold up as much as like their hazy IPA does. So anyway, now one thing I'm also curious about is how did my can of blonde lager hold up? So, not well, apparently. Because it foamed up as soon as I opened it.
You've been shaking it too much.
Maybe.
Don't drink too much. You might get a whole beer out of this.
All right, well, we'll come back to that. All right. So, there's a whole pile of comments. Anybody want to read any?
Well, who was reading before?
That was me.
Nobody.
Because there was like 3 comments to read at first.
I'll
now
read
we got
them.
a ton of comments.
I'll read
Scott
them.
will read them all. While I chug this beer.
How far up did we go?
As far as it goes.
No.
I think we left off at Lee Hardy saying that would be extra stinky.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Kent Beer Reviews jumped in, says Happy New Year's.
Greg.
Cheers, Craig.
Cheers, Greg.
Lee Russell says, yes, let's steal from my job, because we were talking about stealing shelf turds from the back of Sobeys.
I mean, why
Yeah,
not?
Lee also says, Happy New Year, Craig. Lee Hardy says, you can buy my panties. Are they also in Sobeys?
Wait, how much?
I'm just wondering if they're shelf turds, in the back of Sobeys, if they're labeled Lee's panties. I wonder how they got there.
Well, he's stopped.
Well, it might be Lee Russell's panties is the problem.
Well, Lee Russell says it's tempting. Temptingly. Lee Hardy says, cheers, Craig. Craig also says, cheers, Lee. Not surprised not surprised you are not on the panel. That's a double negative. I was tempted to find an outdated NA beer, but thought better of it, says Lee. Craig says, why doesn't Greg sound like Craig? Damn Canadians. Lee replies with, we all agree Greg was born wrong name, wrong country, etc.
Wow.
Beers for days, says wrong gender.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm talking smack there. Lee Russell LOLs. Kent Beer Reviews says it's not here. Says while he's not here at Lee Hardy because you were away at the time. I'm sure Nick liked all the polls, says Lee Russell.
It's true.
All the metal ones, says Lee Hardy. Lee Russell points out, no, just the hard ones, not just the metal ones. Lee Russell also points out, and hard Pollux. And finally finishes off with licking a metal pole is a real mindfuck.
No, licking a mental pole because she said mental.
Mental pole.
I think it was funnier when she said lick the mental poles.
Why would you lick a mental pole?
That's the question, and it makes people think, and a conversation starts. Metal is just a penis joke.
Speaking of penis jokes, let's go around. Let's go back to Dick. Hi, Greg.
Hello.
So, Normally, what we would do on one of these BYOBs is we'd circle around and then ask, like, which one would you rather have had? Now, I'm going to change it up and say, other than yours, what beer here sounded like it was the most disgusting?
Ooh. Well, I mean, to be honest, both Lady Lee and your beer, they didn't sound that awful. They just sounded like, meh, it's not good, but I mean, mine sound the worst, I think. But Mr. Fuzz, I would like to try his metal can tasting beer. It sounds like probably it was the second worst. But I would just be curious to know what one of these that I'm having relatively fresh would taste like, from 8 years ago or whatever the date was.
Well, you're gonna have to get in your time machine because I downed that sucker.
That's all right. I'll
Yeah,
go.
he licked that metal pole already.
Well, I have been meaning to go back in time and pick on high school Nick, so we'll see. Maybe I can swing by a Sobeys.
Fuck you.
Well, it would be he'd be easy to find. It's where everyone was pointing towards.
Right. Anyway,
I'm just assuming he's sitting in the same chair he was sitting in 25 years ago.
no,
It's
All right.
actually the same basement.
He's not wrong on that. Anyway, so lately, okay. So of all the beers you heard here tonight, which one sounds the grossest?
I'm gonna go with Greg's.
Yes.
His
I'm the
face,
most disgusting.
his face when he drank it just said it all. That was it. Like Greg can handle a lot of stuff. Like he's not easily grossed out like whatsoever. And that is one of the few times I've seen him where he's like, wow, what the fuck is this shit? So,
I kind of want to get a fresh one at some point and bring it on a future NA show because I really do think the fresh one's worse.
Either
look of
way.
pain on his face when he chugged it.
Either way, that was well worth it. And watching him almost cry, I think it's a new kink for me. So
Yeah.
with that one.
Well, subscribe to my Only Greg's account. Right,
Wait.
much of my day crying.
Only Greg's can only Greg's subscribe, or is it only Greg's on there?
No, there's only Greg's on there.
Only
Oh.
Greg.
So even if I have guests on in scenes with me, they can only be Greg.
Oh, okay.
It's surprisingly difficult finding females named Greg. I have to search many
Sorry about
foreign countries.
I have both my names are technically predominantly male, because like Lee is people tend to think male, and then my middle name's Lawrence, and people think that's a male name, even though both of them are written the female way. But when they,
I was gonna say like Lee, yes, but not the way you spell it. The way you spell it is very female. So
yeah, and Lawrence is the same thing. It's written in a female way, but it's a commonly male name.
Like Lawrence, like LAU.
Lawrence.
Like, how do you,
we don't know how to spell your name.
yeah.
ENCE.
Okay.
LAW?
Yeah.
Really?
That's male. LAW is for a man. LAU is
Yeah.
for a woman.
LAU. Oh, okay. Lawrence. All right. That's what I thought. Okay. Thank you, Lately, for that. Let's go over to who's next? Scott. Hi, Scott.
So I also enjoyed Greg's tearing up event. I just think Sex Club Greg, this is the worst. Like, all I can think of.
Over.
Yeah, when Sex Club Greg sees the worst, it's like.
I mean, that's basically me at a sex club tearing up when everyone else just has such a bigger dick than I do.
Jesus.
Like, oh, I wish I had a big one like that.
All right.
So
Thank you, Scott.
I also choose Greg's.
Yay!
I figured. All right. So thank you, Scott. Let's go over to me, who's going to cast the deciding vote, because one vote for Greg's, one for Scott's beer from Greg, but everybody else is voting for Greg's crap beer, and I'm not doing anything different. So because that looked utterly painful when he was drinking it, and it's like no wonder he couldn't just like open it up and down the hatch, just like you had to fight the gag reflex constantly. Which Greg,
I will say
you don't have a gag reflex, really, do you? And yet, for some reason you couldn't chug
I don't
that.
have a gag reflex, but here's the thing. I absolutely cannot chug a beer. So it doesn't matter what beer it is. I can't chug. I can't really even chug water, to be honest. So that's just an ability I don't have. So, yeah. So don't, the way I drank it, don't necessarily look at it that I couldn't chug it because I couldn't chug any beer. And
It was all in the eyes.
So you would have chugged that just like you would have chugged any other normal bottle of dollar store perfume.
Yeah, except I would have enjoyed it a lot more. Like I did every sip of it was like, oh, this is not good. Although I will say though, the thing with the beer, the smell was worse. So it's almost every time you took a sip, you got that just all of the smell right up into your nostrils, and then you taste it in your throat, and you're like, okay, it's actually a bit worse. It's actually a bit better in my throat than it is in my nose. So it was almost actually a relief with every sip that you're just like, okay, this isn't as bad as I thought it would be. Okay,
Sexy.
yeah.
All right, so that means that Greg,
some gifts.
Greg, your sober carpenter white is the winner tonight.
You win again.
Or the loser, I should say. Congratulations, Greg, for having the worst beer ever.
Thank you. Oh, I forgot to wear an albino rhino shirt tonight.
How dare you?
And I gotta say, it was like at least close when it came to like Carrie's beer, because that sounded like fucking awful. But I think Greg's presentation was a hell of a lot.
Oh, I think so too.
The only thing, okay, so the only thing I'm going to say about Carrie is I feel he's an unreliable witness because Carrie hates non-alcoholic beers. I've yet to ever see him like any kind of non-alcoholic beer. I just think that the idea of a non-alcoholic beer just grosses him out, and he just doesn't like it at all. So I don't know. I just feel with Carrie, he over embellishes. That's why I actually got to try some of these beers that Carrie tries, because I feel he over embellishes how bad they actually are. But maybe I'm wrong and they're terrible.
That could well be terrible. Speaking of terrible, how's this holding up? The my can of it. This doesn't taste like fucking metal. For some reason, it almost tastes like sour cardboard. It's just like
when's your best before date, Nick?
My best before date on this is March 11th, 2022.
Okay, yeah, so yours is about...
I don't particularly feel like this one's held up better either. It's just maybe if I had drank it ice cold like I had it when we started, but it's
I almost prefer a metal tasting one than a cardboard tasting one.
It's like sour, pasty, like cardboard, and almost like a little bit of almost like a green kind of taste. I'm trying to place that, maybe like a hint of sulfur and a little bit of like diacetyl, but not a lot. And it's like all the bad flavors that would have existed and masked by drinking them ice cold in a normal Compliments Blonde have gotten worse over time. It hasn't really aged all that great, but I mean, if you drank this thing super ice cold and chugged it, probably wouldn't care. And in fact, if you're used to buying these, you probably just noticed that maybe it just doesn't taste as good as it usually does. If you'd bought an old case.
That description sounds like that was the second worst beer of this panel.
But I never really was a fan of this beer anyway. When we did the BYOBA101 on this last year, which this is the last can of that pack I bought.
Oh, no,
this is the last can of the pack that I bought.
Yeah, like 7 years ago.
See, there's a reason why you guys got the pack. It was for this specific show. So Lee, who was complaining last week about buying a pack of beer, you have beer for next year. It's it. You're ready. You're set. You got an episode for next year.
Exactly. Actually, I do feel I should probably buy some beer for next year.
He has 12 beers. He has 12 beers worth of shows.
Yeah, there you go. You can keep doing an aged one every year until, for the next 12 years if Nick has continued to be on the air entertaining us.
Yeah, right. We'll keep doing this as long as there's interest. We just have to make sure people still show up.
I'm actually going to say I drink partially because it's cheap and I'm a cheap bastard and I don't think non-alcoholic beer should cost anywhere near what it does. We go through probably 3 cases of this every month. So about 36 years. This is a staple in our household.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's a staple in our household. Like whenever we want to have something that's like beer, but don't want to actually drink. Especially my wife is more or less quit drinking, and I'm drinking much less than I used to. Yeah, this has become like a staple. Like we go through this a lot, and it's great.
I think Scott's gone to get a real beer. What do you got now? Oh, you bought more of that. The Sophie from Brasseur de Monde, which is being really filtered out by your background filter. There, so.
Yeah, I can take the background filter off.
Anyway, so yeah, like there's your episode. Greg wins the show. The magic question did get asked. But no, it wasn't that one from Beers for Days, but it was. So what's next week's beer? Let's not put Greg up to present, but let's put me up because guess what? Next Wednesday is
birthday.
Yeah, it's gonna be my birthday. So
Nick's turning 50.
we're gonna go with the theme of beers that remind you of me. Or technically speaking, this episode, me holding up a trailway, of course. Technically speaking, it's going to be an episode of it's going to be a show and tell episode officially. But hey, it'd be fun.
I have to go to Quebec though.
You should do it from Quebec.
You have internet in Quebec.
You got a hotel room.
I have to go get a Quebec beer, a Quebec gas station beer.
You have to go get yourself a Labatt Blue 10.1, and there's got to be something else, Scott. How long have you known me?
We have a few more comments, and I would like to read them because they're hilarious.
Sure.
So,
Cube.
What was this one? Okay, so licking a mental pole is a real mind fuck, however. Thank you, Lee Russell. It means you erect my brain. Then Greg's Only Tears account. On
it's
the
what the ladies like.
tier, he cries while naked and drinking what he had tonight. Bah ha 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 for me.
And you guys got it for free tonight, but it's just a free preview.
And then Lee Russell, $50 tier. He sells you his wet undies suspended in a bottle of his tears.
Wow, that's a lot of tears. I hope a lot of people don't subscribe to that because that's going to really dehydrate me.
Yeah, but you're making $50 though.
Wow.
Yeah. Lee Russell says, "Yeah, I don't trust Carrie's taste. He's overdramatic." And then I said, "Shut up and take my money." That is to Greg's own account. Only tears. And then when I said about the drinks, he said, "No, I drank them all that month. Night, I mean."
Wow.
He drank them all that night.
Only 6 cans.
We went hard on fucking NAs. Lee Russell, yeah, not sure if we want to tackle the gender question on the show.
Probably best not to.
Well,
all right.
Well, if you want me to get talking, I could, but I won't. Let's go.
No, if we want to hear you talk, we'll just listen to your show. They Must Be Aroused on Site, starring Lee Russell with occasional guest host Lee Hardy.
They must be aroused on site.
That's
I'm
right.
happy that you
must
think
be
it's
assigned
an
gender at on site. Okay. So I'm gonna say that so tune in next week for kind of a birthday episode, I guess.
Beers that
kind of a good birthday. It is a birthday episode. It's not kind of. It is a birthday episode.
Now we all have to wear our hats.
But
birthday hats?
I will say that even though I'm doing Dry February next week, I have a gold ticket courtesy of the lady in the top corner. Oh shit! You're supposed to be anonymous.
As opposed to the other ladies on this
mystery
chat.
lady.
Oh, sorry, I forgot we're doing the gender thing.
It was a mystery.
Anyway, thank you to an anonymous donor. I don't have to do Dry February next week, pretty much. So right now I'm sitting on like 4 or 5 golden tickets that people have bought for me, and I'm using them for my birthday.
Is it a golden ticket per beer, or is it like the
golden ticket per night?
Per night.
They buy me a golden ticket, and I can have the night off.
Now I think the idea is you're supposed to, be a gentleman and have one little glass of beer for the evening and be, oh, that's nice, gents. Now let's go back to the non-alcoholic beer. Nick, that's not good. Nick's gonna go hard.
You drank we all drank the non-alcoholic Kool-Aid here, so we know how bad it is. It's also
the celebration of the most native person that I know. So
Oh, I forgot that Nick is a native.
My sister.
Nick is not your sister. I keep telling you that.
I know, but my sister's birthday is the same day as his birthday.
Well, this gets more interesting, doesn't it?
Anyway, all right. So tune in next week when we actually do alcoholic beers again. So
The
I
Lee's
want to
sister is
thank
also Nick.
everybody for watching. Was it Beers for Days, Lee, and of course Kent beer reviews. Cheers, Craig. You're still there. Hope we got to catch up soon. I hope you're around at some point soon. So anyway, we'll talk to you folks later.
Penis.
Penis.
Okay.